Well, good morning, Trucker Todd here, and time for another video. Alright folks, as you know, this video is coming out on Monday, which is Labor Day, and I'm sitting at home, my truck's in the shop. I do have an update on that. I am going to share that with you on Wednesday. They found out what's wrong, or at least they think they did, and I'm hoping to be back on the road Wednesday and be able to share that information with you. But over the weekend, on Saturday, we actually went to 2 museums. Now wait, I know what you guys are thinking, museums are boring. Normally I agree with you, but these were really fun, and I wanted to share some pictures and some short video clips with you of what I saw. If you're in Lubbock, I would encourage you to check out these places, and you'll be glad you did. But if you never make it to Lubbock, if you never get to see those things, at least you can see them vicariously through me. Now, because of the length and the amount of pictures and everything, I'm going to have to break this up into 2 videos. The first one is going to be the Silent Wings Museum. Some of you know I love World War II stuff. Man, I didn't say that good. World War II things. It's a very interesting time in American history to me. I do understand why they consider them the greatest generation. Basically, you have the ultimate situation. You have a villain trying to take over the world, and he almost succeeded. Had the United States not entered the war, he would have succeeded. And the United States did not want to get involved in the war. They got in after Pearl Harbor was attacked. So I had a grandfather that served in that war. If you're ever at the museum in Tahoka, one of his uniforms is supposed to be in that museum, but it won't be included in this video. In this video, we're going to talk about the Silent Wings Museum here in Lubbock, Texas. Now, they focused a lot on the gliders, and I'd never heard of the gliders being in the World War II, but it was super interesting, and I can't wait to show these things to you. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right into today's video. I hope you enjoy it.
This is why I do this, why I'm out here, why I keep that hammer down. Flying by these road signs with home on my mind, with these wheels turning round. For my family and for my kids, for this life I wanna live. This is why I do this.
Alrighty, and we're back. Just real quickly, I need to mention to you guys, make sure and give this video a thumbs up. Share it on your social media platforms. This one's not really about trucking, so your friends and family may enjoy this video, especially if you've got some retired family members that are looking for some sightseeing things while they're out on the road traveling. There's a lot of great information in this video, so share it on your social media platforms. Also, right below this video, make sure you click that subscribe button, wait a few seconds, and then a bell will pop up. Click that bell, select all, and that way when I put out future videos, you'll be notified. It's free to do. It helps me out, especially when you share the video or subscribe. Also, these videos are great for people that may never make it to Lubbock to kind of see some things they probably have never seen before and might never have an opportunity to see again. Also, in the description below, you'll find my Instagram, my Facebook, and my email. Make sure and join me on those platforms. If you need to contact me for anything, those 3 avenues are a great way to do it if you're not comfortable leaving a comment below. Also, you guys know I love it here at Dart Transit. While this video per se is not about Dart Transit, the fact that I work at Dart Transit makes these kind of things possible. So I'm grateful to Dart for the opportunities they provided me. If you'd like to see what kind of opportunities Dart can provide you, look in my description below. You'll see my recruiter's information. Give her a call. Her phone number's there. Tell her you've been watching Trucker Todd on YouTube, and give her my driver number of 58180. If she's out of the office, gone to lunch, something like that, leave her a voicemail with my driver number of 58180. and she'll call you back just as soon as she can. If you happen to reach another recruiter, give them my driver number also, 58180. That also really helps me out. All right, folks, let's get to the pictures and short video clips of the Silent Wings Museum. Here we go. All right, this is a big plane that you see when you first get there. I tried to get several angles of it so you could see just how big it is, but it's really interesting. There's a picture of my wife beside it just for a comparison to how big the plane is. And so it was a nice day, great day to film this. It was a little over 90 degrees, but it's just amazing the equipment they had to work with back then. Here's some plaques talking about the plane. It was a C-47 or a DC-3. I don't know a lot about aircraft, so this video you can pause it and see more details on those plaques. There's what the museum looks like from the front. Like I say, just a really nice facility. There's a list of some of the major wars during World War II and the dates that they occurred. And then here's a deal right in front on the floor before you go inside. Here's the admission fees. It said $10. I think we paid about $13 for both of us or something like that. No, did we pay 10 apiece? We paid 10 apiece according to my wife. And then some more plaques that, like I say, you may want to pause it and read them, especially if on a laptop with a bigger screen. You may hear my neighbor in the background. Another shot of the admission process. Hopefully you can see it a little better in some of these pictures. And then, as I said, this museum focuses a lot on the glider pilots and the gliders of the time. I'll have several pictures of the gliders as well. Also, there was the first lieutenant pilot, female. I didn't say that very well, but and then there's a lot of pictures and interesting plaques that in the interest of keeping this video short, I'm not going to go into great detail, but I would encourage you to, as I said, pause the video and read these things. There's really a lot of interesting information available there. And there's another display right there as you first walk in. I'll also show you some pictures of the gift shop and things like that as well. They've even got a newspaper from when Hitler was killed, and it'll show the newspaper as well. There's also a theater that'll be coming up in a minute that has a short video. It's probably 5 or 10 minutes long. It was real interesting. There's a list of the corporate sponsors and the patrons, the people that help finance this museum. There's so much of this type history that's not being taught in school right now. And it's a shame. There's a lot of great information. And it's really interesting if it's taught by a teacher that enjoys history. I remember when I went to college, I had a history teacher that loved talking about history, and she made it really interesting and really fun. And it was really the first time that I enjoyed history. I always thought it was kind of boring too, until I had her class. I love all these old posters too. If I ever had a man shed, I would want stuff like this in there. I think it's cool. There's some old badges for the pilots of the time. And then, as you can tell, there's just a ton of pictures and things like that to see at this museum. Look at all those weapons, different rifles of the time. I love seeing stuff like this. My dad has a lot of cool weapons, and my grandfather had a lot of cool weapons, and I'm always reminded of them when I see stuff like that. There's the newspapers I was referring to. Here in a second you'll see the one that says Hitler's dead. I don't know why it skipped to that other picture. It should come back here in just a second. Sometimes when I get silent, I'm just enjoying the pictures along with you. There's my wife posing with one of the plaques. And there's that theater room I was talking about. That video alone was worth the admission price. I really enjoyed it. It has theater style seating in there, and we were the only ones in there, so we got a really good view, and we didn't have to worry about screaming kids or people being loud or anything like that. We were the only loud ones in the theater. Some more displays. My wife's laughing. There's the Hitler newspaper I was talking about, where he has been killed. Front page news. And for those of you that aren't big World War II people, you ought to go back and read about Hitler. He was a strange cat, and the perfect villain, really. And there's a love letter that a husband wrote his wife, and kind of a group picture. But Hitler could have easily taken over the world, and the United States comes in at the last minute and saves the day with really a remarkable amount of few casualties. Something like 150,000 Americans died in that war, and I know that seems like a large number, and it is a large number, but other countries lost millions. And so we were very fortunate. There's another shot of the Hitler's Dead newspaper. We're really fortunate to not lose more than what we did. Some more pictures. This video I was able to get away with just doing slide shots. When we go to the Windmill Museum and the other video, which I'll probably release tomorrow, I had to put several video clips in it. Some things you just can't capture in a picture. There's important dates in World War II history, and it's really fascinating when you see this wall of all the different events, and so we really enjoyed that as well. So much to see at this museum, and I didn't even capture it all. I just wanted to kind of give you a taste of everything's there and what you're missing if you've never been there. For me, it was my first time there. I had heard other people talk about it, and it's something I wanted to see. Famous people in military history and their contributions. There's a map showing where the troops were deployed. As you can see, they were all over the place. It truly was a world war. It wasn't confined like we think to Germany or Japan or things like you typically think. I know that seems obvious, but it's amazing how we get it focused to just one or two things. We all think of Normandy or things like that, or the wars in Russia. There's my wife again in the background. I think she's taking a picture of the theater room. Now we're getting into the glider stuff. This to me was super interesting. I'm actually going to take you inside a glider. There's a bomber jacket, or the uniform I mean. We'll show some bomber jackets in a minute. Those are parts for the glider that are inside that case. I'll try to get you some closer up pictures like that. Really cool they were able to get some parts on display. And there's a glider. They've kind of taken the glass off. There's going to be a better one I'll show you in a minute, but this is just kind of a view of the cockpit. We're filming right next to an airport, and that's a plane that was outside. We both thought it looked cool, and I wanted to include it in this video, although it's technically not part of the museum. There's a little plane. That's not a glider right there. It had a weight capacity for passengers of like 400 and something pounds, and my wife was teasing me that I wouldn't be able to fly in that plane. But obviously I'm not 400 pounds. Here's the inside of the glider. That'd be where the soldiers sat, and then in a second it's going to flip to the back part back there. It's amazing how big they are on the inside. They don't look that big from the outside, and they're made with wood. You would expect aluminum or something like that, but they were primarily wood, which I thought was really, really interesting. There's a kind of a classroom setup, kind of a recreation of where they might train pilots as they prepared for war. And there's kind of a barracks set up where you can kind of see what the bunks look like at the time. And they even included, if you look above the bunks, they've got like family member pictures there to make it look real. There's what they might be dressed like at the time. I'm also going to have some pictures of guys in uniform too. There's the boots, which they looked actually kind of comfortable, and the gloves. Here's kind of a smaller, I wouldn't call it a toy, but more of a model size deal. It was shrunk down where you could see it. There's some of the models in uniform where you could kind of see what they might have looked like in uniform at the time. And it's going to flip around to the other side where you can see some others. I really like those leather jackets. I would totally wear one of those even now. Just tons and tons of information. If you're an information person, you would love this museum. You could easily spend 2 or 3 hours here reading all the plaques and doing everything this museum has to offer. A Willis Jeep. Who doesn't love a Willis Jeep? Pulling a trailer with, I guess it would be like some type of artillery on the back of it. We'll get a good shot of that here in a second. There's the little gas can for extra gas in the back of the Jeep, and how it's hitched up. There it is. I would assume that's to take down aircraft, but unfortunately I didn't get a picture of the sign there that explains everything. Then we've got models that are hunkered down, or not models, mannequins that are hunkered down with their machine gun. There's an old style bulldozer. Another trailer with a cargo cover on it. There you go. There's some firepower for you. Basically a rocket launcher. And again, my regret is that I didn't get More pictures of the signs. Here's a glider. You can see they could open the front of it and store Jeeps and stuff in there and deploy them. It was crucial to getting supplies and men and equipment in there, and this is how they did it. You can see the ramps. Two guys on the front would lift the nose of it, and then you could drop the vehicles out. Some more shots of infantrymen and the clothing that would have been appropriate for that time, and some more of the jackets. You can tell from this video that I really like the jackets. Bulletproof vest and some more equipment that was common for the time. The pilots, when they crash landed these things, because that's kind of how they landed them, for lack of a better description, they had to join the infantry in fighting, so they were pretty well armed. They usually had to fight their way out of whatever situation they were in. Here's some silverware and things like that of the time. Some more knives and weapons of the time. Just wanted to show you a few more displays, and then we'll make our way up to the gift shop. There's a lot of cool stuff up there. As I said, just tons of information. This is a floor deal that's really cool. Lubbock is called the Hub City because it supports a lot of little towns around it, and it kind of shows some of the surrounding counties and stuff, and so it's really cool to look at, especially if you're from this area and familiar with this area. There's start of the gift shop. You can see they've got everything that you'd kind of expect a gift shop to have. The thing unique about this gift shop are things are fairly reasonably priced. My wife got her one of those backpack purses there. Matter of fact, it looks like the blue one on the top, but it actually came from the middle row. It's a little larger. They've got model airplanes and things like that there, and so just a lot of stuff to choose from. Tons of clothing, t-shirts, things like that. And like I said, the prices won't bankrupt you. And so if you get a chance, you definitely want to check this place out. There's some more t-shirts and things like that. And then here's some badges and things like that. Just a lot of things to choose from here. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. There's some really cool posters. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Love the posters. Okay, folks, I hope you enjoyed that basically slideshow as much as I enjoyed filming it for you and being your tour guide of the Silent Wings Museum here in Lubbock, Texas. I'll probably release the other one maybe tomorrow on Tuesday, and then Wednesday we'll get back into trucking stuff. I know you guys watch this channel mostly for trucking stuff, but sometimes it's nice to step away from trucking and talk about other things. I want to thank y'all for joining me on this video, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.